So dear students, welcome to our next class. In this class, we will learn dimensional analysis, how dimensions are used in physical equation. So, to understand dimensional analysis, first we have to remember principle of homogeneity of dimensions. Principle of homogeneity of dimensions. What is this? This states that every term in a physical equation must have same dimensions. एक फिजिकल इक्वेशन और लॉ इन फिजिक्स में हर टर्म का डायमेंशन इक्वल होना चाहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ वी टेक s equal to ut plus half at square. Now, here the symbols have their usual meanings. S is displacement, u is initial velocity, t is time, and a is acceleration. So, if we check the terms are s, ut, and half at square. There are three terms. If we check dimension of s, it is m to the power 0, l to the power 1, t to the power 0. Dimension of ut, it is also m to the power 0, l to the power 1, t to the power 0. Dimension of half at square, it is also m to the power 0, l to the power 1, t to the power 0. So, every term in a physical equation has the same dimensions. This is called principle of homogeneity of dimensions. Now, we'll go for another example. Check another example. P plus half rho v square plus rho gh equal to constant. This is the Bernoulli's equation in fluid dynamics. Now, here P is pressure, rho is density, V is speed, G acceleration due to gravity, and H is height. Now, if we check all these terms must have the same dimensions, and we will find that these three terms are the same dimensions. So, this constant term also have the dimension of P. This is called principle of homogeneity. Now, how we can use this principle of homogeneity? We can use it in three processes. First, to check the correctness of an equation. To check the correctness of an equation. Second, to derive new physical relation. Third, to convert unit from one system to another. These are the three applications. First one is to check the correctness of an equation, to derive new relation among physical quantities, and to convert unit from one system to another. Now, we'll go for the first one, to check the correctness of an equation. So, just remember that if an equation is dimensionally correct, it may or may not be actually correct. अगर एक इक्वेशन डायमेंशनली करेक्ट है तो इन रियलिटी इक्वेशन करेक्ट भी हो सकता है, रॉन्ग भी हो सकता है. पर अगर एक इक्वेशन डायमेंशनली रॉन्ग है, इफ एन इक्वेशन इज डायमेंशनली रॉन्ग, इट कैन नॉट बी एक्चुअली करेक्ट. ये हमेशा रॉन्ग ही होगा. अगर डायमेंशनली रॉन्ग है तो that physical equation cannot exist in reality. But अगर ये dimensionally correct है तब ये actually correct भी हो सकता है, wrong भी हो सकता है. So when we check the correctness of an equation, we can check whether the physical equation may be possible or not. So to understand this, how to check the correctness of an equation? We'll identify the terms of the equation and find the dimensions of each term. If each term has the same dimension, then the equation is may be correct. But if all the terms have different dimensions, then the equation is always wrong. This is the method to check the correctness of an equation. Now, here we understand some properties. First property is that in addition and subtraction, the quantities must have the same dimensions and the result also have the same dimension. For example, I can add 3 kilometer with 2 kilometer, then I will get 5 kilometer. Now here we are adding two physical quantities, that is 3 kilometer and 2 kilometer. This represents length, this represents length, so the result also represent length. Like that, 8 kg minus 2 kg, that is equal to 6 kg. Now here this represents mass, this also represents mass, so the result is also mass. Here notice that these two quantities can be added because they have the same dimensions and they will produce the same dimension. These two quantities can be subtracted because they have the same dimensions and the result also have the same dimension. But what happen if I write 3 kilometer plus 2 kg? This is meaningless. हम लेंथ के साथ मास को ऐड नहीं कर सकते. Like that, 30 Newton plus 2 Joule. This is also meaningless because this is force, this is energy. So two different quantities having different dimensions cannot be added or subtracted. So if we have given some quantities like that, A plus or minus B equal to C, then we can say dimension of A is equal to dimension of B equal to dimension of A plus or minus B, that is dimension of C. अगर ये नहीं होगा तो वो एडिशन या सब्ट्रैक्शन एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करेगा, पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. अगर सभी का डायमेंशन इक्वल है देन द इक्वेशन मे बी करेक्ट, otherwise the equation is wrong. But two quantities having different dimensions can be multiplied or divided. अगर दो क्वांटिटी का डायमेंशन डिफरेंट है, उनका मल्टीप्लिकेशन पॉसिबल है, डिवीजन पॉसिबल है. फॉर एग्जांपल, वी राइट फोर्स इक्वल टू मास इनटू एक्सीलरेशन. नाउ फोर्स हैव डिफरेंट डायमेंशन, मास हैव डिफरेंट डायमेंशन, एक्सीलरेशन हैव डिफरेंट डायमेंशंस. So quantities having different dimensions can be multiplied or divided. Like that, velocity equal to displacement by time. Here velocity has different dimensions, displacement has different dimensions, time has different dimensions. So quantities having different dimensions can be multiplied or divided, but they cannot be added or subtracted. Now the second part is, we'll understand some functions, that is trigonometric functions, inverse trigonometric functions, exponential functions and their arguments. क्या क्या हो गया? ट्रिग्नोमेट्रिक फंक्शंस, इनवर्स ट्रिग्नोमेट्रिक फंक्शंस, एक्सपोनेंशियल फंक्शंस एंड देयर arguments. They are always dimensionless. They cannot take any dimension. For example, for simple harmonic motion, we write that y equal to a sin omega t. Now here check, sine function is taken. Now this quantity sin omega t, it is dimensionless. Now y is the displacement and a is the amplitude. So dimension of y equal to dimension of a into dimension of sin omega t. Dimension of sin omega t is m to the power 0, l to the power 0, t to the power 0. So dimension of y is same as dimension of a. So this equation is correct. These quantities sin omega t, cos omega t, sin theta, cos theta, they are always dimensionless. Like that, inverse trigonometric function sin inverse x लिखा हुआ है, it has no dimension. Like that, exponential function e to the power something लिखा है lambda t, it is dimensionless. Then their arguments is also dimensionless. Here we have taken sine of omega t, so we can write omega t is also dimensionless. अगर इसका डायमेंशन रहेगा, ओमेगा टी का डायमेंशन रहेगा, then this equation cannot be correct because here omega t is the argument of sine function. Like that, sin inverse x लिखा हुआ है, this x is also dimensionless, ये x का डायमेंशन नहीं हो सकता. फाइनली एक्सपोनेंशियल फंक्शन e टू द पावर समथिंग लिखा है और 5 टू द पावर ax लिखा है, this ax must be dimensionless. Now we can say 5 to the power ax, it is dimensionless, ax it is also dimensionless. Because exponential function is dimensionless, its argument is also dimensionless. Like that, sine function is dimensionless and its argument is also dimensionless. Like that, inverse trigonometric function is dimensionless and its argument is also dimensionless. So what do we understand? Trigonometric functions, inverse trigonometric functions, exponential functions, they all are always dimensionless, as well as their arguments are also dimensionless. Now we'll do some problems depending upon these properties. Today we'll go for some problems which are asked in previous medical exams. Now consider the first question. Here given that x equal to 80 plus bt square. Here x is given as distance and t is given as time. It is mentioned in the question, x is distance, t is time. Question is asked that what are the SI units of A and B? Now let us check the equation. Question 1, x equal to 80 plus bt square. So from principle of homogeneity of dimensions, the terms are x, 80, bt square. So we can write dimensions of x, it is equal to dimension of 80, it is equal to dimension of bt square. Now equate these two. Dimension of x is equal to dimension of 80. So dimension of A, it is equal to dimension of x by dimension of time. Now x is distance, so it has the dimension of length, that is L to the power 1, and time, it has t to the power 1, so it becomes L to the power 1 by t to the power 1, which is equal to L to the power 1 t to the power minus 1. But the question asks what is its SI unit. Now the SI unit of length is meter, so meter to the power 1, and SI unit of time, it is second, so second to the power minus 1, or we can say meter per second. Similarly, if we proceed, we can compare these two quantities. Now we can write dimension of x, it is equal to dimension of bt square. So dimension of b, it is equal to dimension of x by dimension of t square. Now we can say it is L to the power 1 t to the power minus 2. So SI unit of b becomes m s to the power minus 2 meter per second square. So from this equation we can find the dimensions of A and B. Now we'll go for the second question, question number 2. Now what is the given question? V equal to 80 plus B by T plus C. What are the dimensions of A, B and C? Now I am proceeding for question number 2. Now here the terms are V, 80 and this term, B divided by T plus C. Here V is given as speed and t is time. Now we can say dimension of V, it is equal to dimension of AT. So dimension of A, it is equal to dimension of V divided by dimension of T. Now we all know dimension of V and dimension of T. It becomes L to the power 1 T to the power minus 2. Now here check. Here it is written that B by T plus C. Now T is added with C. So we can say dimension of T plus C, it is equal to dimension of C, it is equal to dimension of T. Now T has the dimension T to the power 1. So T plus C and C also have the dimension of time. Now we have already found the dimension of A and dimension of T. Now we will go for dimension of B. How we can find? Now compare these two terms. Dimension of V, it is equal to dimension of B by T plus C. We can write it as dimension of B by dimension of T plus C. Now we already know dimension of T plus C, it is equal to dimension of time. So we can say dimension of B equal to dimension of V into dimension of T, which is equal to L to the power 1. So dimension of dimension of A, dimension of B and dimension of C can be calculated as per the process. Now we will go for the question number 3. Here it is given that P is pressure, V is volume, theta is absolute temperature. Here P is pressure, V is volume and theta is absolute temperature. This is mentioned in the question. Now we have asked what is the dimension of A and B. Now just consider this equation. P plus A by V square. It is written that P plus A by V square. So we can say dimension of P must be equal to dimension of A by V square. Now dimension of A, it is equal to dimension of P into dimension of V square. Now dimension of P into dimension of V square, V is volume, its dimension is L to the power 3. So V square is the dimension L to the power 6. So dimension of A becomes M to the power 1, L to the power 5, T to the power minus 2. Now how we can calculate dimension of B? Now consider, if I broke the bracket, here the terms are P, A by V square and this term. So we can write dimension of P, it is equal to B into theta by V. So dimension of B becomes dimension of PV by dimension of theta. Now you can calculate the dimension of B easily. But remember, pressure into volume equal to work. So PV has the dimension of work and theta has the dimension Kelvin. So it becomes M to the power 1, L to the power 2, T to the power minus 2, K to the power minus 1. In this process, we can find the dimension of B. Consider the question number 4. The damping force is directly proportional to velocity. What is the dimensions of constant of proportionality? Now, identify the quantities given here. Damping force directly proportional to velocity. Now, force is directly proportional to velocity. So, if we write a constant F equal to B into V. Now, here B is the constant of proportionality. So, we can write dimension of F equal to dimension of B into V. So, dimension of B equal to dimension of force by dimension of velocity. Now, we already know dimension of force divided by dimension of velocity. If we calculate, we will get m to the power 1, L to the power 0, T to the power minus 1. This is the dimension of constant of proportionality. Now, we will consider the question number 5. What does it say? It is given that a physical quantity P depends upon time T according to the equation P equal to P0 exponential minus AT square. Now, understand this equation. P equal to P0 exponential minus AT square. If I write exponential of x, that is equal to e to the power x. Exponential of x means e to the power x. So, I can write this equation as P0 e to the power minus AT square. Now, what is the dimension of A? The question asks the dimension of A. Now, we already know here the argument of exponential function is 80 square. So, we can say 80 square is dimensionless. So, A equal to m to the power 0, L to the power 0, T to the power 0 divided by dimension of T square. So, m to the power 0, L to the power 0, T to the power 0, anything to the power 0 equal to 1 divided by T square. So, it becomes T to the power minus 2. So, the dimension of A is T to the power minus 2. So, these are some examples how we can check the correctness of an equation. Next part is how to derive new relation among physical quantities. Now, let us check a question. The question is that force, velocity and time, these are taken as fundamental quantities. We define a system where force, velocity and time are the fundamental quantities. Then what will be the dimension of mass? If in a system force, velocity and time are defined as fundamental quantities, then what will be the dimension of mass? Now, here there are some methods. If we go for regular methods, then we have to write let dimension of mass, it is equal to F to the power A, B to the power B, T to the power C. Then actually dimension of mass is m to the power 1, L to the power 0, T to the power 0. Now, dimension of force in mass, length and time will be m to the power 1, L to the power 1, T to the power minus 2 to the power A, V, L1 T minus 1 to the power B, time T to the power C. Now, it becomes m to the power A, L to the power A plus B, T to the power minus 2A minus B plus C. Now, if we individually match the powers of each term, then here it is m to the power A, it is m to the power 1. So, we can write A equal to 1. In second case, A plus B, it is equal to 0. That means B equal to minus A. That means B equal to minus 1. For third case, 2a minus b plus c, it is equal to 0. So minus 2a, that means minus 2, minus b, that is equal to plus 1, plus c equal to 0. So minus 2 plus 1, that is minus 1 plus c equal to 0. So c equal to 1. Now what will happen? M has the dimension f to the power a. That means a is 1, f to the power 1, v to the power b, v to the power minus 1, c is 1, so t to the power 1. This is our regular method. But for quick numericals, you have to know the relation among those quantities. This is the regular method. It is applicable anywhere. But to solve the problem quickly, you can go for some direct substitution or hit and trial method. For example, we know that force equal to mass into acceleration. So mass equal to force by acceleration. But here acceleration is not given. So we have to define acceleration equal to v by t. That means mass becomes f by v by t. That is equal to ft by v. So we can write the dimension of mass as f to the power 1, v to the power minus 1, t to the power 1. Now, like that, if the question asks what will be the dimension of length, what will we do? Now, we know that velocity equal to length by time. So, length equal to velocity into time. So, dimension of length becomes f to the power 0, v to the power 1, t to the power 1. So, by guessing properly, you can solve the problem in a quicker time. This is the method. But for this, you have to know the relation among those quantities. Now, let us take another example. Now, if H, C and G are taken as fundamental quantities. What are they? H, C and G. Now, H is Planck's constant, C is speed of light, G is universal gravitational constant. Now, what is dimension of H? It is same as angular momentum. Dimension of C, this is speed of light. So, L1 t to the power minus 1. Now, G, this is universal gravitational constant. You can derive G from this Newton's equation, F equal to G m1 m2 by r square. From that, G equal to Fr square divided by m1 into m2. So, you can calculate the dimension of G. It is m to the power minus 1, L to the power 3, t to the power minus 2. This is the dimension of G. Now, I have to calculate the dimensions of length, mass and time. I have to calculate the dimensions of length, mass and time. Now, simply check. You can proceed as the previous method or simply check G into H. If we multiply these two quantities, what will happen? M to the power minus 1, L to the power 3, t to the power minus 2. What will be your answer? Into m to the power 1, L to the power 2, t to the power minus 1. It becomes m to the power 0, so no need to mention this, L to the power 5, t to the power minus 3. So, G into H has the dimension L to the power 5, t to the power minus 3. Now, I can easily calculate length and time using C. Now, If I have to cancel L to the power 5 here, I have to take the power of C to the 5. So I can write GH by C to the power 5. What happens? L to the power 5 T to the power minus 3 divided by C to the power 5. That is L to the power 5 T to the power minus 5. These two will cancel out. It becomes T square. So what will be the value of T? Root over of GH by C to the power 5. This will be the dimension of time. Or we can write G to the power half, H to the power half, C to the power minus 5 by 2. Now, in this equation, if I divide G into H divided by C to the power 3, then what will happen? L to the power 5 T to the power minus 3 divided by C to the power 3, that is L to the power 3 T to the power minus 3. It becomes L square. It becomes L square. So we can write L equal to root over of GH by CQ. So simply here we can proceed. Dimension of L becomes G to the power half, H to the power half, C to the power minus 3 by 2. This will be our answer. Now check. If I will do C divided by G, what happened? C divided by G, L1 T minus 1 divided by M minus 1 L3 T minus 2. It becomes M to the power 1 L to the power minus 2 T to the power 1. Now C by G into H. What happened? M to the power 1 L to the power minus 2 T to the power 1 into H. M to the power 1 L to the power 2 T to the power minus 1. It becomes, these two will cancel out, these two will cancel out, it becomes M square. So what is the dimension of M? Root over of CH by G. So if we take H, C and G are fundamental quantities, then we can find the dimensions of mass, length and time. Mass, length and time. Next, it is asked that a physical quantity is formed by using C, G and E square by 4 pi epsilon naught as the fundamental quantities, and this quantity has the dimension of length. That means we have to find length in terms of these physical quantities. So the dimension of C, it is L to the power 1 T to the power minus 1. Dimension of G, it is M to the power minus 1 L to the power 3 T to the power minus 2. Now check for this quantity E square by 4 pi epsilon naught. What is the dimension of this quantity? Now simply you observe here E square, that means charge is squared. Now remember Coulomb's law, F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2, that may be written as Q square by R square. Now if I take R square here, F into R square equal to dimension of Q square by 4 pi epsilon naught. So dimension of F is M to the power 1 L to the power 1 T to the power minus 2 into L square. That becomes M to the power 1 L to the power 3 T to the power minus 2. So dimension of this quantity is m to the power 1, L to the power 3, T to the power minus 2. Now let length equal to C to the power A, G to the power B, E square by 4 pi epsilon naught to the power, or take it as x, y and z. Now length equal to L to the power 1, that means m to the power 0, L to the power 1, T to the power 0, equal to L to the power 1, T to the power minus 1 to the power x, m to the power minus 1, L to the power 3, T to the power minus 2 to the power y, and E square by 4 pi epsilon naught. It is m to the power 1, L to the power 3, T to the power minus 2 to the power z. Now by solving you can find the value of x, y and z, or you can calculate using these two. If you divide these two, they will become dimensionless, so don't do that. Okay, you will proceed along this method. Just remember, you can proceed along this method. Clear? So I will send the PDF and questions in the description. The link will available in the description. Now today is our Independence Day, so happy Independence Day to all from the team Arith. Okay, thank you.